a new study that suggests that sleep problems in your early midlife years could lead to poor memory skills later in life. Dr. David Shaker with this new study published at the Journal of Neurology. And Dr. Shaker had analyzed almost 600 people's brain scans for a connection between sleep and then the quality in their 40s and so long in their life of their brain. Researcher finders that this reported that more poor sleep characteristics at 40 showed an advanced brain age at MRIs taken 15 years later. What does that equate to? Is this similar to dementia? I mean, what does this look like to a doctor like yourself?
Look, Marina, Joe, how are you guys? You're absolutely right. This is a super important study, and I'm just happy that it's followed up by, we're following up just that last segment on just general health and fitness. Sleep needs to be taken in the same context. So we'll dive into the study. You know, it showed that essentially that if you are 50 to 60 years old, but in your 30s and 40s, you were sleeping poorly, you can develop a little bit of a slow cognition, little memory problems. This study ran for about 15 years. They followed patients for quite a period of time, and they used high-level brain imaging to assess for what's called brain shrinkage, and they related that to brain age. Medically speaking, on a CAT scan or MRI, we'll call that loss of brain mass. And we commonly see it with older patients or if they have dementia problems.
Wow.
I do want to take a second, though, and stop and caution people. This doesn't mean that if you're sleeping poorly in your 30s and 40s, hence you're waking up for a sleeping child, or you're fielding some emails because there's a point in your life where you're working on your career. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're going to develop dementia. Yeah. On the same token, though, you can start to see memory problems, slower thinking, brain fog, attention to details. And I see this, unfortunately, commonly in my middle-aged patients who come in and they explain a lot of these concepts. One of the most important questions I have to ask them is, hey, how are you sleeping?
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm glad you brought this up. I have horrible sleep habits, have had them, you know, being the comedian. Some nights you're up till 2 and 3 in the morning, and the next day you have things to do. So I'm glad you brought this to my attention. And what can somebody like me do to, one, check up, and two, prevent?
I'm going to break it into two categories. The first one has to be just to address medical issues. So there are medical issues that can make sleeping a little bit more difficult. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, you snore at night, get seen by a heart doctor, get seen by a pulmonologist. There's great techniques now to augment sleep apnea. If you have anxiety, if you have insomnia, a lot of times there's medication that are making you stay up later at night. Sometimes the medication doesn't allow you to sleep as well. I'm always encouraging people to do behavioral therapy with any qualified therapist. This can really, really go a long way. That's the first category. So see a physician if it's a big issue. The other thing has to be around prioritizing sleep. Like we said, with good healthy habits, eating habits, exercising, doctor's visits, all those things are more habitual. So I have a 4-step easy acronym, EASY, that'll help you out. All right. 1, establish a routine. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time every day. A, avoid stimulants, alcohol, screen time. Caffeine and nicotine also can be stimulants. S, sleep environment is very important. Analogous to a cave. Dark, cool, it's quiet. You're not going to be awoken throughout the night, but at the same time, if you wake up to a early, bright morning sun, you'll have a lot more energy. And last one is why. Your relaxation techniques, whatever you personally like to do, whether it's deep breathing, prayer, meditation, reading a book, whatever you're personally interested to help you relax.
Dr. Shaker, I like it. Easy.
E-A-Z-Y, I'm going to remember.
Thank you. We ran out of time, but of course we could speak on this for a long time.
Yeah, I need to know. And I'm finna
Stay with us. We got so much more after the break.
I'm finna sleepy now.